Ho, 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 and Merry Christmas to you all. Today is the 25th of December. Most of the world celebrate Christmas on the 25th. Not here in Sweden, where I live. We actually celebrate the 24th. But as this is an international channel, I will do my Christmas wishes on the 25th. And we will celebrate it with this little study. White to move and win this. Even though we are 2 pawns down, we are still winning this as white. The black pawns are moving downwards. So pause the video now, see if you can find out how white wins this. Go ahead. And welcome back. Did you find it? Well, let's look at the most obvious first. Of course, we can take this pawn and at the same time give it a scavenge check, and maybe we have something here. Well, this is of course too obvious, so it's not the right answer. Black has a force move, king b1, and now white doesn't have much. This is impossible, of course. Black covers here. And if we try some check here, we will just allow the black king to escape. And the queen is also covering everything here. So something like this, the black king will escape. Or try to check here. It doesn't really matter. Well, I can also just play queen b1 check and force the draw. So no, that's not the correct starting move. I tried to be a bit smart, so the first move I looked at was this, which I thought was pretty clever. Queen a5. But it's not correct either. But he has some smart thoughts here. Of course, it prevents this pawn from moving. Black will lose his queen. And it also prevents this pawn from moving. Now we have a great discovered check here. King b1 is forced, and that is a checkmate. So after queen a5, black cannot move any of his pawns, and for various reasons he cannot put the queen on c2 either, because that will lose, but I will not show how, because that is the same variation as the right solution later on. But black can play queen f2 is one move that secures everything. It stops our queen from coming here, and it also covers everything here on the second rank. If we now take, same will happen, and we don't have any checks as white. Instead, black threatens to get his queen involved here, and this is not winning for white. Okay, now to the third move that looks interesting, but it's not correct. Queen c4 is good, pretty good. It threatens the checkmate here on c1. Also threatens a queen check on c3, followed by checkmate on b2. And if the black pawn moves, well, then it's a checkmate right away on a2. But black will simply defend everything with queen c2 here. It's forcing white to get a check on f1. Queen b1 will follow. And even though we have a check up here, followed by b2, we are not coming anywhere. We can try to focus on this diagonal, but then the black queen will come to d3 with a check, and the king has to move, and now it's actually winning for black. So that's not the correct move either. But we have some ideas that we will get into, and that is with the correct solution, which is the starting move queen e2. Okay, what do we have here? Well, we're threatening a checkmate here on b2 right away, and that's only possible for black to protect against that, actually, with playing the queen either to c2 or to b1. Otherwise, we will get a checkmate in the next move with queen b2, or in this case with queen d1 or e1. Okay, so let's first look at queen to c2. We looked at this twice. When we first moved our queen to a5, this was losing. In the other variation, we had the queen on c4 and queen c2 then saved the draw. The difference is that if white now has the chance to go to e1, which we do here, then we are winning. But if we would have taken the check on f1, it is just a draw. Because after queen e1, we are forcing black to put the queen on b1 to stop the checkmate. And this queen is a lot better placed on e1 than on f1. Now we will win by either playing queen to e5 or queen to c3. It's the same variation. A check. Again, forced move for black. He has to play the pawn to b2. Otherwise, if we place the queen to b2, we will just take it with a checkmate. And now we can put the queen on either b3 or c4. Threatening a checkmate here. The king cannot move, either pawn cannot move, only the queen can move, and if it moves away somewhere, like this, we have a checkmate. Yes, it can play queen d3 with a check and sacrifice his queen, and then perhaps promote this. But if we promote to a queen, it's a check, followed by a checkmate. Or you can try to mess a little with us, promote to a knight with a check, but, well, it doesn't get him far. This will be a checkmate for us pretty soon. Now, this is a interesting move, of course. We don't want to take this with the queen, obviously, due to this. But we can take it with the king. And the knight will not have any place to move. He will lose it. If he does something like this, we can do this and king b3. And now it will be a checkmate. Or he will lose his knight if he plays this. Okay, that was a bit overachieving perhaps, but you get the picture. So let's start from the beginning. Okay, here we played queen to e2. We want to have a check, force the queen to b1 and then go up to c3 or e5. What if black plays instead the queen straight away to b1 and don't allow us to get the middle check on e? Well, now we get to e5 anyway. We don't have the option of going to c3, but as said before, queen e5 check wins anyway. Again, force move, otherwise it will be checkmate in one. And now we simply put the queen on this diagonal. And now it's important we go to d5, not to e6, because we are not allowing the queen to come to d3 with a check without losing it. And again, we looked at what happens if he sacrifices his queen. If he does something else, it's a checkmate. Perhaps he wants to sacrifice his pawn. Well, we simply take it. And still, this is a pretty beautiful end position, I would say. Either black sacrifices his queen, or he just, as he is in Zugzwang, he has to move it somewhere. And then he will just allow us to checkmate on a2. So I would put this as the end position, and black resigns. Pretty beautiful, if I may say so myself. Well, I hope this was a great Christmas gift for all of you watching this video. I wish you all the best for Christmas and New Year's, and I will still work with this channel every day, so you will get a new little puzzle from me tomorrow. See you then. Bye bye. See you later.